How to eliminate hidden blocks to visibility and market yourself confidently. Welcome to the Soulful and Social Summit, a space where you can uncover the keys to success on both the goal line and the soul line. I'm Katja Rosanen, your host, and committed to helping spiritual entrepreneurs share their stories, shine their light, and succeed on purpose. And joining us today is Success Mindset Coach Kristin Maxwell, who has helped hundreds of entrepreneurs with their mindset and those hidden blocks, me included. So welcome, Kristin. I'm really excited to have you joining us today.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. This is one of my favorite topics.
And before we dive deeper into your presentation, could you share with us how has social media played a role in shaping your business success?
Yes, well, I have to say, I have a love-hate relationship with social media. And I started out with, I joined a mastermind, a very expensive, tens of thousands of dollars, and discovered that I would not market myself. I would not go
Mm.
on social media. So I will say that I started with this hate. Didn't make sense because I was a litigation attorney. I did all kinds of stuff before, but when it came to marketing and talking about myself, I couldn't do it. So I spent years trying to figure this out for myself. What is it? What were the blocks that got in the way that didn't make sense? And then I actually started working with other people. I am on the team of somebody we all often know who is an amazing strategy coach, but she discovered that people don't take action to market themselves, even when they know what they're doing, because of some blocks that get in the way of their visibility. So I have devoted my life to this, to figuring out and helping people move past it.
Wow, thank you so much for opening up also so honestly about your own experience. I love that. And now, as we are diving into your expertise, allow me properly introduce you. So, after working with hundreds of entrepreneurs, Kristin Maxwell knows those hidden blocks that prevent entrepreneurs from making offers and confidently marketing their services. As a success mindset coach, Kristin guides business owners to uncover and finally let go of self-doubt, procrastination, overwhelm, and self-sabotage that prevent them being visible and taking the very actions that would allow them to reach their income goals. So Kristin is also host of the podcast, Your SuperPowered Mind, part of the SuperPower Up channel and rated in the top 1.5% of all podcasts globally. So that is huge. And during her presentation, she explores the underlying blocks that lead many entrepreneurs to resist marketing. So tune in to discover how to overcome these hidden beliefs that block visibility so you can take bold, enthusiastic action to market yourself and claim your worth. So, wow, we are up for a treat. So the stage is now yours, Kristin.
Thank you, Katya. And I'm really excited. Thank you for giving me this chance, because this is something that is so common with
Yeah.
entrepreneurs of all levels, of this inability to step forth and really wholeheartedly market themselves. And so the thing is when you are an entrepreneur, when you are a business owner, it is crucial that you show up as your most empowered self, that you be able to claim your expertise, that your excellence, to actually boldly seek attention, to let people know what you can do, to say good things about yourself and your services. And the thing is, that's really, really uncomfortable for a number of people. So what happens? So there's often people who, especially in this online space, where they will have been in a career, they'll been very successful, and then they will decide to open their own business, to go into their own specialty, either retraining or emphasizing something that they've done in their previous life. And they can spend years developing their expertise, training, investing in starting a business, getting the technology and the coaching and getting strategy. And then when it comes to marketing themselves, showing up on social media, letting people know what it is that they do, what happens, sometimes nothing. It's really, really hard sometimes to be able to go online and start talking about what it is that you do, what it is that you can teach, how it is that people can work with each other. And this happens again and again and again and again with many, many entrepreneurs. And the problem is, when you are not being visible on social media, when you're not being visible in the world, how are people going to find out about you? How are they going to learn about what you do and know that you are available to hire? And so what happens with entrepreneurs is this resistance to showing up, to being visible, to being on social media drains their energy, leaves them feeling like a failure. Because really, we know how important it is to show up on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever your audience is, whatever platform that is, but the need to show up. And so I'm wondering if this is something you can relate to, part of this sort of resistance and reluctance and inability sometimes to put yourself out on social media, or to put yourself out on social media consistently or confidently with this energy that lets people know, yeah, I do know what you're doing. If you can relate to this, you've probably spent a lot of time beating yourself up. So my question for you today, and the one that I'm going to answer, is how do you start to break this cycle? How is it that you get out of this pattern of wanting to let people know what you do and then freezing and being unable to do it? And again, let me reiterate, why do I know so much about this? It is because I lived this. I went from being a litigation attorney where I would speak in court. I did jury trials. That was no problem. But when it came to then letting people know that I was a coach, that I could help them, I froze. I was terrified to put myself out on social media, to let people know. And as I also mentioned, I now work with entrepreneurs. This is the work I do because there's a recognition that stepping up like this, really truly becoming visible, goes beyond knowing what the strategy is. It goes beyond knowing what it is that you want to say and having the copy. It's having the ability to really own and claim your space. So what gets in the way? There's a couple things. If you're doing this, and I mentioned this earlier, do not beat yourself up. This is a normal process. It's actually, as you'll see as I talk a little bit further, it actually makes perfect sense that there is, for many of you, a fear to really boldly claim your excellence. So what is it that gets people stuck in this pattern? And maybe if this is you, one of the things you might be saying is, well, this doesn't make sense. Like me, like I have been very successful in my life. I know what I'm doing. I'm really good at the services. But so what stops you from taking the very actions that are going to let people know about you? Well, we all have blocks. And these are blocks that are hidden, often at a subconscious level, that are trying to keep us safe. And we have learned, based on experiences from our past, both big events and small events, that there are situations where it is safe to show up and claim your excellence, and other situations where it is downright wrong, unlikable, and dangerous. So we get this specific programming inside our bodies that says, no, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to show up on social media and tell people what's going on. So, what is this? What kind of blocks are there? When you might know that when you go to say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do a Facebook Live. I've been planning it for a week. I know exactly what I'm going to say. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and sometimes you might spend the whole day getting really busy doing everything else, getting super busy, and get to the end of the day and you're like, it's too late to do it now. I can't do it now. I'll do it tomorrow. And this can go on and on and on and on. So what's going on? You've learned rules as a child about when it's okay to seek attention. When is it okay to ask for people to pay attention to you, to maybe even brag a little bit? And as a child, depending on, your parents and your environment, when you step forward as a child and was like, hey, look at me, I'm so special, you might have gotten any response that ranges from, what, we don't do that. Good people don't try to claim, attention like that, to something a little bit more angry, like, who do you think you are? To even downright anger and sometimes even threats of physical harm. We really couldn't be seen. And I'm going to check my notes to make sure I'm there. And one of the things that's going on is when it's time to show up on social media, we don't have an awareness of that this is what's going on. That there are these unconscious thoughts that flood our nervous system with stress, the fight, flight, or freeze. And so we find ways to sabotage or procrastinate. And I've created a list of what I call 10 hidden self-doubt saboteurs. And these are beliefs, unconscious beliefs, that many, many entrepreneurs I've worked with have, that they learned as a young child, that stops them from taking action and showing up. And I'm going to read one of them. And I want you just to notice as I read it, what goes on inside your body? Do you feel any stress or tension? What kind of thoughts come up? Does it resonate for you? Do you feel any emotion? So if you want to, close your eyes, and I want you to listen to this. So if I talk about my work and how I help clients with the obvious intention of getting noticed and becoming visible, I am openly seeking attention. And people do not like people who try to get attention. And just notice, is that true? Is there a piece of you that, as you think about it, is like, yeah, no, people don't like people who try to get attention? And so if you notice some constriction in your body, or a thought of, yeah, that's right, chances are there's a piece of you that says, no, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to go on social media and tell people what I do. And there can be 95% of you. I always talk about pieces and parts and how people have all of these dissonant parts. 98% of you can say, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And I could really help people if I got that out there. But if you have that 2% piece that says, if I start talking about myself, people aren't going to like me, that's a rule that you live by. And it becomes really hard to break this rule. You know, when it's like this piece that's screaming in the background, don't do that, don't do that, you're going to get slapped down, you know, literally or figuratively. How hard do you think it is to get motivation to step forward and get this uprising of, yes, okay, here I go. I can get on social media. And so there are a series of beliefs like this. Whereas another one, and listen to this, is, you know, if I try to get people to pay attention to me, it's unlikable, shameful, or just wrong. Part of me expects to be criticized, shamed, or asked to prove my worth. It is not okay to seek attention or say how great I am. And again, just notice, does that feel true? Because this is, again, another belief that's going to stop you short. So I want to switch right now. And I want to do a visualization exercise with you to see what sorts of fears and thoughts and beliefs are are coming up for you. And close your eyes, if you will, just play along. This is just a couple minutes. And just take a deep breath and feel your bottom on the seat, your feet on the floor. And I want you to imagine being in front of the camera, you know, getting ready to do a live, whether on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever it is. And you're getting ready to do a post where you do a little bit of teaching. And then you say, and if you want to know more about how to work with me, you know, comment below. And I want you to think about who is going to be seeing this post. Maybe it's, you know, other colleagues of yours, other business owners, entrepreneurs, you know, your parents, your family, maybe some of your mentors. Throw in some people from growing up, the people who both loved you and criticized you. And I want you to notice when you sit there and you think, okay, I am going to go on social media and I am going to say, in essence, I am awesome. You should listen to me. And I deserve to be paid well. And just notice what is happening to the people who are watching this video. What are you imagining in your head? There might be some who are like, yay, yay, you're finally doing it. I love to see you. But I also wonder, are there people that a piece of you wonders, oh my gosh, they're going to talk about me behind my back, or they're going to judge me, or they're going to say, who do you think you are? And just notice and take a moment right now to write down, what are the fears? You know, what are they looking like, these people, as they're watching? Are they like aghast? Are they angry? Are they shocked? Are they asking you to prove it? Yeah, you'd got to prove that. Sure, you can say it. Just notice what comes up and write it down. And you can pause the video if you need to right here to do that. But come back when you come back. I want you to recognize that these are the voices that are going on internally whenever you try to psych yourself up to put something on social media. Or even if you're comfortable putting something on social media, maybe it's the next level, claiming the next level of expertise or the next price point. It's the next level of expansion. And essentially, when you visualize this audience and what they're saying and how they're reacting, you're noticing what's going on inside of you, often without you really paying attention to it. When you think about getting bigger, claiming more space, becoming more visible. So I would love to hear what you have, but of course I can't right now, but at some point we can. What I want you to notice is how much do these fears hold you back? How much does the imagined fear of people push it, saying, prove it, hold you back and cost you? And what would it do for your business if you really could own your expertise confidently, consistently, teaching, questioning, letting people know who you are? So what we're going to do now is you're starting to get an idea of the rules that are holding you back. So what do you do now that you know you've got some of these rules? Well, first of all, I forgot to mention, if you want a list of the 10 hidden self-doubt saboteurs, because they actually start to make a lot of sense to people at a very basic level, you can request it from me via Messenger. Go to Kristin Maxwell and message me, and I will send it on over. But so what do you do going forward? Because the goal for you is that you can move forward consistently, regularly, not just that you can get yourself to understand what's going on. We want you in action. We want you actually marketing your business. So what do you do? Well, first, from now on, I want you to notice when you're procrastinating, when you're sabotaging, when you're starting to doubt yourself. Stop and go, oh, I see what I'm doing. I've put off actually posting something I've been thinking about posting, for 4 days now. Aha, I've got some fear. So notice that. And typically, the reason I say that, you probably say, well, yeah, I do notice it. But often what I find is people, instead of noticing it, they just go into a spiral, a self-doubt spiral, where they are beating themselves up. Like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I do that? And there's a lot of scary self-talk about how we're not good enough. And it goes on in the background without us even being aware of it. So I want you to notice, okay, I'm not doing what I want to be doing on social media. Second, what do? Notice what thinking about taking the action does to your body. Is there some constriction, in your throat or your chest? Because sometimes, and I think probably a lot of you already know this, a lot of our emotion and our fear and shame is trapped in our body as energy. And so one of the best things you can do is, if you think about doing something and you're not doing it, just check in with your body. What's going on in there? Are you constricted somewhere? What are the thoughts that you have, the emotions? Some people are aware. Yeah, I'm afraid. People are going to question me. Other people are not as aware. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, if this is what you're doing, have compassion for yourself. Becoming an entrepreneur and building a business and claiming visibility is one of the very difficult things for people to do, because it requires you to become somebody you often are not ready yet. You're not already. You have to grow into the kind of person who can proudly claim space. And the thing that's so funny is people can be like, oh, I put something out and I got, lots of people liked it and I got comments and I got really good feedback. And they'll feel, positive, motivated, and excited for about 10 minutes, or maybe it lasts a day. So even if you've got evidence that people are liking what you're doing and they're listening, what we're primed to do is to forget that and to go back into, oh my gosh, maybe they're going to find out that I don't know as much as I say I do. They're going to find out that I still have some issues in this area. Oh my gosh, I can't do that. And so there's this push-pull inside in terms of, yes, I want people to see me, and no, I can't let them see me because they're going to find out that I am not who I say I am. And so be kind to yourself. This is just, again, your programming, your nervous system, you being a human. Humans are complicated. They believe different things at the same time. And so we often don't make sense. And it doesn't mean you're a failure and you're never going to make things work. It just means that you've got that next level of blocks that you're going to want to move. So that's the third thing. Have compassion for yourself. And then fourth, what I want you to do is to learn a process that I use often with my clients that you can use regularly in the moment when you start to feel resistance coming up, so you can keep moving forward in the moment. You can have fear come up, you can notice it, you're going to recognize where it is, what it's doing, what you're feeling. You're going to be like, oh, here it is again. Yep, I'm human. I'm a new entrepreneur. And I suggest you tap or do some other form of energy clearing that helps you to move the energy of this fear. And in working with so many people, I've discovered that a lot of people, when they get to this point, they're like, I don't want to think about how I'm insecure. I don't want to go into focusing on what is holding me back. I want to be positive. I want to stay with the affirmative. I'm going to create more negativity if I actually acknowledge these negative emotions. And I will tell you that from my experience, when there's doubt or fear or shame underneath an ability to move forward as quickly and easily as you would want to be, that energy holds you back. People try to push it away and say, nope, I'm not going to go there because I'm going to stay efficient. But what happens is it requires so much of you and your strength to push it away, to not think about it, to not feel it. And so, but when you can recognize it, you can acknowledge it, you then can move it and clear it and start to let it out of your system so that you can take the next step. And so when I use tapping, one of the reasons then, well, I'm going to do a little brief tapping session with you so that you can try it and experience it for yourself. One of the reasons that I really do like it is because it decreases adrenaline and cortisol production right in the moment. It actually decreases your body's secretion of stress chemicals. So right there, in and of itself, it actually helps to calm down your body. Another thing that it does, and a very non-scientific way of explaining it, is you're tapping on different meridian points. And as you do this, you're essentially breaking the electrical connection between your brain's thought, oh my gosh, I have to post, and I'm feeling really insecure, and what are people going to say? And that flood of nervous system fear, the fight, flight, or freeze response. And when you start to break that connection, your brain is able to think more clearly, to start to have realizations that it's not otherwise able to have when you're stuck in that fight or flight response, the stress response. And I suspect most of you have done tapping and you know what to do. But let me just very quickly, if you want some more, there's tons of videos online about how to do tapping, essentially the top of the head, the inside of the eyebrow, right on the outside of the eye, right under the eye, almost that little hole under the eye above the cheekbone, center of the nose, center of the chin, and then right there on the collarbone. And other people do additional spots. When I'm working with people, these are often what I use. And for, do whatever you want to or you need to for this. And so what I want you to do again is close your eyes and think of something, some action that you've been wanting to take on social media, some offer you've been wanting to put out, or even just really letting people know about yourself. And I want you to visualize, just get a picture of yourself, seeing yourself at your desk, trying to force yourself to put something out into the world. And as you sort of get this idea, like almost on a movie screen in your mind, you see yourself and notice, what is your energy like as you're thinking, I'm going to say this and I'm going to do this, and how are people going to receive it? And notice that energy that you look, and what thoughts are you having? Is it, I don't want to do this? I mean, it might just be as clear as that, or it might be, what are people going to think? And notice the constriction. And as you sit there, let's start tapping on the top of the head. And I'm going to say some words, and you can repeat them after me. And I do need to say, if you're somebody who really gets wound up in your nervous system really quickly, you might not want to do this because we're not going to have the time to actually talk you all the way fully back down again. So take responsibility for yourself on this. But for the vast majority of people, we're going to move a little energy, and it's okay. It's good to move energy. So I can see myself there. And I have to post something. I have to let people know what I'm doing. And I am not doing it. I can't make myself do it. What is wrong with me? All I want to do is make a simple post, and I can't do it. Arg! I mean, really, it's that, I can't stand it. I can't stand this. I feel trapped because I know I have to do this. I need to do this. I want to do this. And it's so hard. Then just keep tapping. And I want you to notice if there are any sensations that have come up in your body as we've done this. Some tightness in your head or your chest or your throat. And just feel those sensations in your body. Those sensations of, oh my gosh, this stress. I can't get myself to move forward. but I have to move forward. I want my business to work. I need my business to work. There's so much writing on it. And I just can't get myself to move. And just keep tapping. And what we're doing is we're voicing and acknowledging some of those voices of that angst inside of you. And as we notice the energy and the sensations in our body, by acknowledging them and speaking them out loud, some of that energy can start to float away. It's stuff we've learned from the past, and it's just holding on in there in our nervous system. And so when you can really acknowledge that this is how you move it, this is how you find enthusiasm and motivation. So I'm going to go back and say, what are people going to think? What if I sound stupid? What if it's obvious that I said something wrong or I'm not good enough? Oh my God, I could not stand that. I could not stand that. I can't make mistakes. People are going to judge me. What are they going to think? And I want you to we're going to tap now on the side of the hand. And I want you to repeat after me out loud. So even though there's part of me that is terrified to step forward on social media, I totally and completely am open to loving and accepting myself. And even though I don't understand why it's so hard for me, I'm open to shifting this energy and finding a different relationship within myself to stepping forward. And just close your eyes and take a deep breath and notice if some of that stress and anxiety is ready to float away on your next breath as you exhale. And what I often find is that when you can start to speak to some of these rules and the events from the past, obviously we can't get into that, you then find the motivation and take action. And that's what many of my clients say is after we do a session, I actually take action. And if you'd like to experience more of this, I do invite you to check out a free workshop that I've done. It's a full tapping hour workshop around overcoming imposter syndrome. It's that fear of feeling like a fraud. And I take you through a whole process. And you can find that. I'm sure there'll be a link in the notes for this, but it's kristinmaxwell.com/overcome. And I am so excited to support you in this quest to finding that strength and empowered energy to really show up consistently with your full energy.
Wow, that was so beautiful and powerful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I loved also that you guided us through the tapping exercise, because that's something people can also go back and do it again. So
yes, and I expect every day, maybe even.
Yeah, that was so wonderful. And I'm so grateful for you, for all the work and all the support you give in the world and your time today. So as we start wrapping up here, I'd love to ask you if you have final words of wisdom that you would like to leave the audience with.
Just know, when I've said this again and again, this is a process. These are rules that you've grown up with. And it's really helpful to learn and uncover. I really do suggest you look at the self-doubt saboteurs and go through, because it's a process of letting it go. But once you do, you find another level of strength and power that allows you to shine. And it's so beautiful to see.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kristin. And
Thank you, Katya.
And thank you for joining us in this powerful Soulful and Social Summit session. And it is your time to shine, share, and succeed. Until next time, bye for now.
Bye.